Hey guys, this is Leo here. A little late today. Labor Day has been really hectic. I hope you guys had a happy Labor Day. I had to work from 6 a.m. to shortly after 10 p.m., so that was a fun time between the two jobs. And I know I said I wanted these videos to be out around like 2:30, like 3 o'clock Pacific time. And for next week, I promise I'll try to get back on that track. But let's kind of go through here and try to pick a deck here to go over with you guys. I can't remember if that is myself or Sean's deck. Or Shane Stix's deck. This is a deck I just started building the other night, so it's not near ready to show you guys. But where is the one I'm looking for? Not that one. That one's all about taking extra turns and stuff, which is not what I'm looking for. Where is it? I'm looking for my draw deck. There we go. Alright, let's view this deck here. And sort by type. There we are. And piles by name. So, to start off, this deck is all about drawing. And most of the draw spells are one-cost draw spells, but we'll get into that later. And we'll start off with what I have here. This Blister Coil Weird. 1 blue or 1 red to cast. And so whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Then you untap it. This creates a chain combo with Paradise Mantle that I'll show you guys later. But it's a 1/1 base, and yeah. The next thing here is Skull Reaver. Is 5 generic mana, a white and a blue to cast for a 3/5. It's a spirit, which none of that's relevant to my deck, but it could be relevant to interactions with others. It's flying, double strike, lifelink. That doesn't hold too much relevance because I don't normally use this deck to deal combat damage, although it does have other win cons aside from the main win con. And so whenever you gain life, draw a card, which has an infinite combo with Horizon Chimera, which is 2 generic, a green and a blue to cast for a 3/2 with flash, flying, and trample, and whenever you draw a card, you gain a life. So those two, you deck yourself out pretty much because you're drawing your whole deck. But I have certain draw spells to let me fix that. And because Laboratory Maniac is 2 and a blue to cast for a 2/2 human wizard creature. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. So I have 1-cost draw spells that would let me pull Laboratory Maniac out if I have appropriate mana. And once Skull Reaver and Horizon Chimera are together, Blister Coil Weird and Paradise Mantle would leave me with infinite mana. So I'll show you that in a minute. Let's skip the sorceries in the instance. So, the artifacts. The main mana sources are, as per the other decks, because this is Forge and I can kind of do that. I have 4 Black Lotuses. I have which are 0-cost artifacts to play that tap and you sacrifice it. You add 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool. And then next we have Mox Emerald, which is 0 cost to cast, taps to add 1 green to your mana pool. Then we have Mox Opal, which, as you guys should remember, it's legendary, so you can only have one of them out, and it has Metalcraft, meaning so you can tap for one of any color, so long as you have 3 artifacts on the field. Otherwise, it's just they're taking up space. And then there's 2 of those. Now, next, we have 3 Mox Opals, which are 0 cost artifacts to play that tap to add 1 white. And then we have 4 Mox Sapphires, because that one has a little more than the others because it's blue, and the deck is heavily blue dominant with the draw spells. Although there are some non-blue draw spells in here. But, so, you guys should remember, since every deck so far that I've shown you guys has Mox Sapphire in it, taps to add 1 blue. I think this is a different art than the last time I showed you. And then the most important one, Paradise Mantle. It's a 0 cost artifact to play as an equipment. The equipped creature taps to add 1 mana of any color, and you equip it for 1. So with Blister Coil Weird, you can equip that, and you tap it for all those 1 cost draw spells, and you pump it up. And there's secondary effects to most of those 1 cost draw spells. Or if you have multiple Blister Coil Weirds stacked with Paradise Mantles, then you can rack up mana to play some of those creatures. But let's get rid of that. Now let's go back to the instance. I have 4 Ancestral Recalls, which are instants, 1 blue to cast that I draw 3 cards, or I force an opponent to draw 3 cards. Which I think the technical term would be just, target player draws 3 cards is the new ruling. And the next instant is Quicken, which is the next sorcery spell you play this turn can be played anytime you could play an instant. So the next sorcery spell gains flash, and then you draw a card. So if I'm in a pinch and I need draw spells, and I have a bunch of my sorcery draw spells, I can then just play Quicken and play one of those and hopefully draw into something that lets me draw into something, and so on and so forth. Now, Scout's Warning is 1 white, and the next creature card you play this turn can be played as though it had flash. Then you draw a card. So at that point, if you're in the middle of the infinite combo of Horizon Chimera and Drogskol Reaver, where you're drawing cards, and you have open mana, you can play that, and then you can play Laboratory Maniac, therefore preventing you from losing the game. Which you could do that, and you'd be able to do that in the middle of that combo going off. So you do have a chance to save yourself, so long as you have the mana open. And then lastly, for instance, is Visions of Beyond. For 1 blue to cast, you draw a card, and if a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, you draw 3 cards instead. And most of the time, with a lot of those will be the last draw spells I play, because with a whole bunch of draw spells in my grave already, it should probably have 20 or more in it normally. Now, lastly, let's go into the sorceries. And we got 4 Gitaxian Probes, which is 1 Phyrexian blue to cast, which means I can pay 1 blue mana, or I can pay 2 life to look at a player's hand, which is a neat secondary effect. And then I draw a card. And then I have Ponder, which let's see what if the terminology is. So no special terminology. You just look at the top 3 cards of your library, put them back in any order. You may shuffle your library, then draw a card. And then yeah, you draw the card after you choose to shuffle your library, which most of the time I don't need to worry about what's on top of my library because I'm just drawing into draw spells. But there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. And do let me know in the comments what you think of the deck list. And if you think it's worth playing around with. And if not, then, well, I mean, this kind of deck isn't for everybody. And this is one of the very few decks that I've made. So far, I'm trying to make an effort to show decks that I have not incorporated Mirror into, because I'm heavily known for sticking Mirror into any deck. But if you want to stay up to date of all my videos, just click that little subscribe button and ring that little bell. Stay up to date of each and every video, including of the new addition to the household, Mr. Archie. And I don't think there's anything else, so this is Leo, over and out. Peace until the next video.